Hey guys, we're going to do a chapter 1 section 2 video today, and it'll probably be a pretty fast one. Essential question today is how can I show my work when solving multi-step equations? So we're just going to be working on just the basic process of solving for x or solving for a variable, and just how can we label those steps and how do we show our work, because that is something for algebra that is really crucial and we have to have it down pretty good. So we're going to try some problems. We're going to start with an example. So in your notes, please write example 1. And if I go too fast, hit the pause button. Slow it down so you can write everything down. Here's what we're going to solve. We're going to solve x plus 2 all over in a big fraction, 3 equals 4. So x plus 2 over 3 equals 4. Now I'm going to give myself some more room to do this problem, and I'm going to put a line down the equal sign. And our goal is to get x all by itself. But we can't do that until we move the 3 and the 2. So I'm going to start with the 3 first because it's the whole fraction is in this problem. We got to get rid of it. So fractions mean divide. The opposite of division is to multiply. So we are going to multiply by 3 on the left and the right. And when we do that, the multiplication kind of undoes that fraction, undoes that division. And we name that the multiplication property of equality because we're multiplying equally on both sides. So on the left, it crosses it out and it makes those 3's go away. But on the right, we got to multiply it. So we still have x plus 2, and we have 4 times 3, and 4 times 3 is 12. So we're almost done. We've got x plus 2. We got to get x by itself, so we're going to get rid of the plus 2 now. By doing the opposite, we're going to take away 2. So we're going to do a minus 2 on both sides. And since we're subtracting from both sides, that's that subtraction property of equality. That's going to get rid of the 2's for us. Then x is going to be all by itself. Now what's 12 take away 2? Oh yeah, 12 take away 2 is 10. So x is equal to 10. We're going to circle that, and that's our final answer. Now, your work on your paper should look kind of like mine. Like you should have that line down the equal sign. You should be showing each step as you go, not cramming all the steps into one step. You want to be organized in your work. Let's remind you that those properties, this is what makes it a two-step problem. So we have the multiplication property of equality, and then we have this subtraction property of equality. And those two steps is one of the reasons we call this a two-step problem. All right, let's try another one. Let's do an example 2. We're going to solve for x, and here's our problem. 2x minus 5 all over 3 equals 7. 2x minus 5 all over 3 equals 7. Well, same thing. I'm going to put a line down the equal sign. And since it's in one really big fraction, I got to get rid of the fraction first. So we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides to get rid of the fraction. That's that multiplication property of equality. Multiplying undoes the fraction, so we're going to be able to cross those 3's out. But we still have a 2x minus 5, so we still have 2x minus 5 equals, and then we multiply 7 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, what do we do next? Well, we still have the 2x and we still have the minus 5. The next step is to get rid of the minus 5. We are going to add the 5 to the other side. Adding 5 to both sides gets rid of it, but is also that addition property of equality. So we're going to cross out the 5's. They're gone. What's left? Well, we still have a 2x, and we have 21 plus 5. 21 plus 5 is 26. So we're getting closer to our answer, but we're not done. We have 2x, and we only want an x. So what do we do to get rid of the 2? Well, we divide it away. We're going to use a fraction for division. We're going to divide by 2 on the left and the right side. We're going to do it equally. That's that division property of equality. So this is now a 3-step problem. We got the multiplication property, the addition property, and now the division property of equality. By dividing by 2, we're going to get our answer. We're going to get x all by itself. 26 divided in half, well, 20 divided by 2 is 10. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so 10 and 3 make 13. So I'm going to circle that as my answer. X is equal to 13, and that was a 3-step problem. Again, we want to organize our work. So, your turn. I have a you try problem for you. I want you to write this down in your notebook. You are going to solve for m. 5 equals 3m minus 1 all over 4. Right now, you should hit the pause button on your device and go ahead and try to just solve this all by yourself first. And when you're ready, unpause it and check your answer. All right. You should be unpausing the video. You have solved for m. You're ready to see if you did it correctly. Hopefully you have the line down the equal sign, and hopefully you noticed that there was a really big fraction, so let's get rid of the 4 first. So we are going to multiply by 4 on the left and the right to get rid of it. That's that multiplication property of equality. The 4's are going to cross out, but we'll still have that 3m minus 1. Now on the other side, 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, we're getting closer. Let's take that minus 1 and add it to the other side. Let's do a plus 1 to both sides. So minus 1 and a plus 1, that we're adding, that's that addition property of equality. It's going to cancel out the 1's. It's going to leave us with a 3m all by itself, and 20 plus 1 is 21. But we're not done. We have 3m and we just want m. So we got to divide the 3 away. That's that division property of equality. We're going to divide by 3 on the left and the right. And by doing so, it gets rid of the 3's, so the m is by itself, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. So your answer is 7. So how did you do? Did you get the same thing as me? Does your work look like my work? Did you make any mistakes that you can find and maybe make corrections to? Because this is the time to learn from those mistakes, so you don't do it on a test or a quiz or some other time where it might be a little bit more important. All right, let's do another example. Example 3. Let me show you a problem that's a little bit different than the last couple. So here's one we're going to solve for x. It's 4 plus x over 5 equals 2. Now it's still a problem with a fraction in it, so I'm still like line down the equal sign, going to get x by itself. But it's not one of those big fractions that holds down the whole problem. So in this case, I'm actually going to take the 4 away first. I'm going to subtract the 4 from the left and the right. That subtraction property of equality. I'm going to get that out of there and still have my fraction x over 5. That'll be my first step. Notice how that's different than the last 3 problems we've done. Then 2 take away 4 is a negative 2. So we're close. We almost have an answer. We got to get rid of that 5. So it's a division problem, so I'm going to multiply by 5 to get rid of it. Timesing the 5 is the multiplication property of equality, and it gets rid of the 5's. And now x is all by itself. So we got to times negative 2 times 5. Well, 2 times 5 is 10, but a negative times a positive is a negative. So a negative 10 is our answer. Just really pay attention to how this one's different than the last 3 problems. When the problem is one big fraction, you got to multiply that number and get rid of it right away. But when you have a littler fraction like this, first we're going to subtract or add or deal with some of the other things first, basically. So to kind of wrap this up for a summary, we're talking about, in this video specifically, fractions and equations. And there's really 2 types. There's the ones that look like this with the big fraction, and then there's the ones with the little fraction. So just remember, if it's a big fraction, you got to multiply that 3 first to move it over. But if it's a little fraction, then you're going to subtract the 4 first. There's a difference in these problems. And we'll practice in class, and hopefully it'll make more sense as we practice, but I wanted you to see it in a video first. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.